and welcome in the online classes. Today we are going to study about the other method of asexual reproduction and let us start with budding. So children, budding takes place in fungus such as yeast cell. A small outgrowth is formed called as bud. Bud is formed on the body of the organism. It contains nuclear matter and this outgrowth is equal in the size and later they get separate from the parent cell and develops into a new organism. So let us see in the diagram. So suppose this is a parent cell and it contains a nuclear matter, as it is written, it contains a nuclear matter. So it is a nuclear matter called as nucleus. They start elongating. So elongation occur here and then a formation of bud. You can see here a small outgrowth is formed as bud and the nucleus start dividing. As the division is over, this outgrowth started becoming big, then bigger, and then it take the size of the parent cell. Two organisms are equal in size. So in this way budding takes place and budding give rise to a new organism. How it occurs? First, elongation takes place, a small outgrowth increases or small outgrowth take place and this outgrowth started growing and it will become as big as the parent cell and they both will have their own nucleus, and in this way budding give rise to a new organism. Is fragmentation. So children, the body of an organism breaks into two or more fragments. Each fragment give or divide into an adult individual. Example, filamentous algae. Filamentous algae is the example of fragmentation. There is another example called as planaria, in which the body of the planaria gets split, means divide. All the body parts will get broken and then each part will give rise to a new individual. Similarly, in the plant also it takes place as the same. So this is a filamentous algae and it will break or break into two parts. Each will behave as a new organism. They two are having the same DNA particles that it is having. So both will have their own nuclear matter and then behave as a new individual. So it is about fragmentation. And next is spore formation. So in fungus, some hyphae become erect and swell up and the erect hyphae are called as spongiophore and the tip is called as sporangium. Spores on the sporangium burst and spores carried away by wind and then the spore develop and form new individual. Actually, if we make it short, we can understand that in fungi, thousands of spores which individually grow in plant. So, to understand these sentences, you have to understand the picture. So, children, this is called as hyphae. Actually, this is the picture of fungi. So, this part is called as hyphae. So, some hyphae become erect. So this hyphae is becoming erect. Okay, it was a hyphae, now it became erect and swell up to the tip. Okay, this erect part is called as sporangiophore and the swelled part is called as sporangium. Okay, the swelled part is called as sporangium. So the sporangium swells and then it bursts. When it get burst, the spores in it, this small part you are seeing, this is called as spores. So the spores in it, spores are very small. Okay, spores are very small and round in shape. So the spores in it are carried away by wind and then the spores develop and form a new individual. So it was very easy. Only the thing you have to remember is to learn the diagram or understand the diagram. So this is hyphae. Hyphae becomes erect. Hyphae becomes erect and swells up to the tip. This is called as sporangiophore and this is called sporangium. So sporangium swells up and the spores in it, okay, the small spores in it get burst. As it get burst, and then it is carried away by the wind, and then the spores will develop. The spores will develop and give rise to a new individual. So this is called as spore formation. Formation of a new individual from the thousands of pores, thousands of spores, they are called as spore formation. So it was about spore formation. You have to remember only the diagram, then sentence you will be able to write by yourself. Thank you, students.